This
you and
conference will
myself.
now be recorded.
Oh, you
Yeah, yeah.
started
Sorry,
recording?
Jay.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
no
no
problem.
problem.
Please say. Okay.
No, no, that's fine. If you're recording, then that's fine. We'll talk some other time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I want to talk to you only when no one is there. So,
Uh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So maybe in the last, yeah, we can do
yeah.
that. So let me share my screen. I'll duplicate this slide, and now this will become next scenario. So we are done with 4 scenarios. So yesterday, we discussed the fourth one um, by introducing one more plant, and then how we adjusted the data that we saw. So now let's talk about the another scenario. So this scenario, so till now what we have seen is, we have seen with respect to quotas, right? 30%, 70%, how the setup is happening. So now, irrespective of something we discussed about quotas, we also have, some kind of hard constraints.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of, for example, now we know that according to the quota, if it is, let's say, uh, 50-50% we have taken for two plants, right? Yesterday. So we had introduced one more plant and we have divided the responsibility 50-50%. So now let's say that, if we say that 50% and if 1500 is the demand, 750 will be on one plant, another 750 will be on another plant for the production receipt. But if we want the system to generate, let's say, uh, you know, uh, not 750, but let's say 800 or more than 800. Minimum, we want to keep it as 800 minimum that we are sure that we need to produce. So in that case, we can use some standard key figures, which sometimes the planners will use. So which are like minimum key figures. So minimum key figures are, uh, let's say, with respect to transport. So we will have minimum transport receipts. Even if the quota says that 50% uh, out of 1500, which is 750, but if we keep 800 as the minimum transport receipt, then it will not respect the quotas. It will just create whatever we are giving in this key figure. Similar to that, we have minimum uh, production receipts, and similarly with respect to customer, we have minimum customer receipts. Now let's say that I want to apply this particular scenario, that whatever quotas that we have defined, right, it should not respect that, but what it should respect is, it should respect whatever we are telling to the system, that minimum it has to produce this much, or minimum it has to transport this much. So Let's go into the system. So let's say that this is what we discussed. 50-50% we have given yesterday. We have introduced another plant 102, and then 50% we have brought, right? So let's say that because of that 50%, it was producing 750 and 750 because 1500 was the demand. So now let me bring another key figure in terms of minimum. So let's say that I can bring minimum production receipts. So I'll say okay. Let me remove the colors. Okay. So now let's say that for this plant, I want to keep minimum production receipt for this week as 800. Even if according to the ratios it was calculating, 750, but if we are keeping minimum production receipt as 800, so it should calculate the production receipt as 800 for this plant 101. So I have given here 800, and these key figures are editable in the current and the future, so I can directly save it here. So what planners do, if planner want to adjust it, let's say that for the December month they are anticipating some demand, irrespective of the quotas, what they can do is they can bring that minimum amount of production that they expect that it has to be done. So they will just adjust via this standard key figure. So let's say that now let me log into the IBP.
So just like this S4, correct? We are setting the minimum and maximum, just like the MRP.
Yeah, so minimum and maximum is it is like you have the quotas. Okay, till now we saw that the quotas was getting respected, that whatever the percentage that we were giving. But uh, if you are sure that you want to disrespect quotas and bring in some kind of hard constraints that it should respect, because you are very sure as a planner that minimum this much production receipts has to be there. So then you will just make of these key figures. So it is with respect to customer as well, minimum customer receipt, and then minimum transportation receipt, minimum production receipt. So what we have done is, for this example, we have just given for a particular month as minimum um, production receipt, and we will just run the heuristic to see that according to quotas. Otherwise it would have been 750 as we saw yesterday. The quota was 50-50%, but then now we have introduced that hard constraint, so we will just see the impact of that. Vinod, sorry. Mm, okay, so let me copy this. So it started running. Yeah, when I was searching this, I can also, apply the filter created by or by job ID. That will also be the part of this filter. And then I can give, for example, this username and then also search it easily. And while the job is running, sometimes we feel that we would like to cancel it, but only when it is running. It's not before it is finished. We have an opportunity to cancel it, and sometimes we trigger a job by mistake, and we would not like that to run at that particular moment. So we can immediately select that and cancel it. But only the thing is, if it is already finished, I mean, we will have no action of canceling it. For example, the finished one, if I select, the cancel option is not valid because it's already done. If I want to restart the job, I can just, make use of this restart as well. I've never used this restart, but yeah, I think, um, I don't know, it is disabled for the finished one. But okay, anyway, let's come back. Now refresh. So now we see that it has the production receipt of 800 here, because we have given the minimum production receipt, and 750 because here we haven't given anything, so it is still respecting the quotas. So 750 it is producing. So here 800. So now if the supply planner was sure that he want to overproduce it, so it means that it is going beyond 1500 now, the total receipts, right? Beyond 1500 it is going. So what uh, that means is, this means that wherever we are sure in a particular couple of weeks we want to keep it this way, then we can make use of this. So not only here, we can also make use of this in the customer receipt, and it behaves in the same way. So this is just a hard constraint that it will go and then produce this much, um, with respect to this. So there are other key figures as well, the adjusted key figure, uh, with respect to the same production, transport, and then customer. So the adjusted ones, yeah, the difference will be, yeah. So in minimum, in contrast, so minimum you also have maximum. Like if you want to put a cap, so for example, in between 800 2000, it should not go beyond that. So I can use minimum and the maximum production receipt. So this is the lower range and upper range, right? But if I use the adjusted production receipt, let me see which exactly is that key figure. So then I am very specific about only this is the absolute value that I would like to go ahead. So let's say that if I search for the adjusted key figure, adjusted production receipt. So this is also a key figure which I'm sure that I want to adjust it with, let's say, 800 value. Then production receipt it will generate only 800. But if I'm not sure that whether it is 800 or is it somewhere between 800 to 1000, then I can make use of minimum and the maximum production receipt, so that I can put a cap there. So that's the difference between this. Right, so now the important thing which we will also see is um, the lead time. So we haven't spoke about the lead time. So for example, now the plant has to deliver to whom? To distribution centers. So now we have two plants, right? So let's say that they have to deliver to distribution center. So till now we haven't considered the lead time. So the week that we have the demand, the same week it was delivering, right? So now let's see that um, how the lead time will work out in this case is, let me open the master data. Okay, so let's say from plant to the distribution center, right? So that is what, that's a transportation lane. So yeah, so we can go to the location source now, and in the location source, uh, let me filter this out. Okay, so now from this plant 101 to DC1 and then 102 to DC1, right? So let's say that we introduce some kind of lead time here. This is a bit confusing. We have here transportation lead time. I think they have added a new one, and then we have lead time transformation transportation. I don't know why they introduced this new field, but okay, let me try uh, this lead time. So let me say that it is 1 week and then 1 week. So okay, so we have given this, and it is also 18 digit number and 6 decimal rows. Okay, so let's try that one. So now we have given a 1 week of time, right? So let's come here to our view and let's go to the demand portion of it. All are here, right? Okay, fine. So let me bring one more week. Let me change some demand. So I'm saying 1000 and then 1000. Let me save it. Okay, it's saved now. And now let me run the heuristic. So we have already given the lead time. So what we'll do is, so lead time also guys, we can do it in the same way that, we can use this as a key figure as well as we have used for location sourcing, that zero 0.5 ratio and all. So like you see here, location sourcing ratio we have used as a key figure. So if you want to differentiate it for whole weeks, not constant, so we can use that way the lead time as well. So for now, let us first check if that's the right field. So what I'll do is I will just um, run the job, this one, copy, and then schedule. Okay, let it run. In the meantime, what we'll do is I'll come back here. So now in the edit view, let me also go to the transportation perspective if you want to see. Uh, Let me bring over here 51 and copy this time related setting to from transport to all. Okay, and let me also bring out the supply. So now, because there is a lead time, right? Now you think from the perspective that because there is a lead time involved, so the supply has to happen, that much before so that it reaches to the target location um, at the dedicated time, right? So let's say that the transport supply, something is happening. Who left? Okay, so transport supply, if I put a cursor over here, it says that, location and then location 2. So the receiving location should have, you know, should get the supply. It should start 1 week before so that it reaches on time, right? So we, because we have a lead time of a week, so that's the reason. So let me go here and also bring two location as well. Yeah, two location. This is fine. So let's see from the supply perspective that how this behaves. First, okay, so let me say okay now. Refresh it. So now this is 1,000 demand here and here, and I'll go to the transportation tab first. Okay, it hasn't brought anything. Production perspective, it hasn't generated anything. transport receipt. Let us see. But I think that it didn't. Let me see if that is finished first. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it is already done. Let's see the logs of it. Yeah, here there is nothing which tells that it hasn't considered. Let me go again. Ah, it's just a master data statistics. So from the receipt perspective as well, I think it didn't get anything. So let me bring that transport receipt now here. Transport receipt. No, doesn't seems to have calculated properly. So it is still showing 1500. Okay. Okay, I think I haven't given the quota in the week 51. Uh, okay, let me try once again. So this quota, I haven't given it. Why it is taking. So let me say this paintbrush here and 0.5. Okay, and let me save it. So one more time we will just try, because what I have not done is I haven't considered this period as well into the consideration. So let me see again, the demand is 1000, and let me again run the heuristic. So I just directly scheduled it. Yeah, so let me again do this, copy, and this time I'm going to go inside this step as well, and then increase that period to one more week. Now it is with offset 2, and now I will just schedule it. Okay, so let it finish. So what is the expectation here? Now it has finished. The expectation is that, from the supply perspective, if I have to get the transport receipt in which week? In the week which I have a demand. So let's say that I have a demand in week 50. So that supply has to happen in week 49. So that is what is the objective of this particular exercise. So let me refresh once again. Yeah, so something has happened this time. So let's see that, uh, you know, So in the week 50, okay, let's leave this transport receipt as of now. So we'll bring the transport receipt later. So let's concentrate on the supply portion now. So supply portion, what it has to do is uh, the this one it has to happen in week 49. So it means that it hasn't considered that master data. So as we were expecting, if this doesn't work, what we are going to do is, oh, we okay, we have put the other one, I think. Yeah, we have put this one. So I believe maybe this is not the right one, and this will be the right one. I hope I have cut it from there. Yeah, it is done. Let me save now. So now it is saved. Refresh, filter. Yeah, so this is saved. And let's try one more time. Copy, and then I think it would have taken, because we copied the last one, so it would have taken offset 2. Yeah, so offset is 2. And now I'm going to schedule it. Yeah, it is finished. And now let me just first refresh this. Refresh. Now let me go to the transport tab. Okay, so here we see that um, no, it is still in this week. It is doing 1000 and then it is doing 1000. Okay, so what I was expecting is, because we have given the lead time, right? It should show me that supply has to start 1 week early to mitigate the demand of week 50, and whatever is the demand of week 51, it should have been already supplied. The supply has to plan 1 week before. So in 49 and then 50th week, I was expecting. So I think I have to look it back to
Is it
this.
supposed to be -1 or something? If we have to start, or it's only one?
No,
No,
no, it doesn't have to be -1. The lead time will always be, in positive. So lead time will be like 1 week, 2 week, right? So it will
1 week,
never
2 week
be minus.
backwards. That's what it is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, but lead time, no, 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 no. Don't think in that way. Backward is from for our understanding perspective, right? Lead time means this much of time you require to shift from 101 plan to DC1, right? This much of time is required via ship or via truck or via rail, right? So then, if this much is the lead time, now from the process perspective, we have to understand that the heuristic should behave in a way that it should consider uh, this 1 week prior itself, so that the things can so that the receipt if it has to generate in this week, the supply has to start 1 week before, because that's the lead time. So that is just for our understanding purpose, that we are backtracking and then how the thing should work. But we will never give minus to just backtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So no worries, guys. I mean, maybe I will just have a look at the settings also in the heuristic that we have, uh, that it has to consider that transport related stuff. And then the other confusion what I have is whether this is the right field or that is the right field, because one, it is saying that lead transport in the bracket transportation, and then another it is saying that um, you know uh, the transportation lead time. So this is not a very good stuff that SAP has done. It can easily confuse anyone. But nevertheless, once we know this, I mean the one which is working,
So
then
this
we
needs
may
to be
develop.
this needs to be transportation lead time.
You mean this one?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I just tried. We started with this one. It
did
hasn't
not work.
given that way. Yeah, yeah. So first we have given one here. We
Mhm.
saved it, and I was expecting that the transport supply should be 1 week before. It didn't work. So that's why I thought we'll try this one as well, because this is also telling the same thing, and it also didn't work. So what I'm expecting is, now maybe I will just explore the SNOP profile. What we have is, so let me just open and maybe we can see together um, that particular profile. So let me filter out with our planning area, and I'll go inside this one. Yeah, so what I have to explore is this one. Yeah, initialize lead time horizon of transport. So let's try this, because this looks like it is related to, we are initializing the lead time for the transports. And yeah, I mean, rest is fine. Let me just save it. So what I'll do is I'll quickly disconnect, connect back. Now because we changed that parameter, so again we should try both the fields. So first let us try the one which is already saved in the bracket where we have the transportation. So let me rerun it from here. It is finished, and it is the same. So let's give a last try, which is this. Let me remove it and put it there. Yeah, it should be one of these, not other than this. I haven't. I have to go again into the create option. So let me directly go to the location source because we have logged off. So that's why the edit stuff has gone. So I'm going into the create master data location source, and let me give it for the product ID Tigor, and this edit. So let me remove this. R, saving it, running it again. This is saved, two records, and then going back here. So running it for the last time. Uh, Otherwise, I need to explore this scenario that why it is not working. Actually, it should work because there is nothing that we left because the mandatory master data that we have filled, and we have also told to the system that it should initialize uh, the horizon of the lead time. Other than that, we are not left with anything, but because it is not working, so there must be something we are missing, so which I need to then explore and then cover it next time. So let's see what it says this time. So in the meantime, Rajnish, have you already given that yesterday, or you are going to give today the problem statement? If you can give me, in the help document, that will actually help me to understand what exactly is the problem you are facing, or you want to put some screenshot that this is exactly what you're facing. That will help me to analyze and then prepare for it. Rajnish. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this, yeah.
So there are four lines in that Excel sheet. I just want to see how would you put the source ID for those.
Okay, okay. And you told
Yeah.
that when you try such scenario, you are facing some inconsistency. So if you can brief
Not
that,
inconsistency. Not
huh,
inconsistency. Redundancy.
uh, okay. So
Basically,
is it
you
okay?
you'll end up
Okay.
you'll end up creating multiple bombs.
Aha. So is it giving you some kind of message that it is a redundant bomb, or
No,
something like
that's
this?
where I'm looking forward to you. Like, how would you design the source ID? The way I have understood
Hmm.
and would be needed, it will lead to redundancy. So I just wanted to see how would you design the source ID without creating any redundancy.
No, no. Yeah, I got your point. So what I'm trying to understand is, when you do the check, for example, for any of the supply planning algorithms, so that check sale, does it say that it's a cyclic error that A to B, B to C,
No, no, no.
something like
I
this?
haven't got to that level yet. So only thing I'm worried about is one bomb I end up
Haha.
creating twice.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me look at that,
Yeah,
and figure it out,
yeah.
and we can talk about it. So then there is nothing that you are going to send on the top of that, right? So whatever
Still,
Excel
it will
you have
need.
sent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we need. So how would you?
Okay, okay.
I just wanted to see like how would you design the source ID in that case?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Because that's a very common, like that's the case with every client, not just what I'm working with.
Yeah, yeah. So, I have worked a lot with, even phantom assemblies and, the bomb, as I was mentioning in previous to previous client, which was more for
Mm.
the servers and all. So they have very complex bombs. So let me just, explore that and then come up with something in relation to this. Okay.
Okay, cool.
I think, yeah, that knowledge, I just have to look back and then see that how that was done. Okay. So coming back, so now this has worked out. So what we have done is we so first thing to remember here is the right field is this one. But what we were missing, why it didn't work the first time, that in the profile we can also do the initialization of the uh, transport lead time. So if we do that, uh, then it will consider the lead time horizon for the transport. So what we are telling, that in order to uh, the supply should start 1 week early if it has to generate the receipt at that particular time. So if I go back, so what it has done is the demand, if we see, so we'll go from the start. The demand, if we see, the demand was 1,000 in week 50 and week 51. But now if I come to this transport tab, the supply has started a week before, which is in week 49 and week 50, right? To mitigate the demand for week 50, the supply has started in week 49, so 700 and then 300, right? And it is 1,000, and then this is 1,000. This is for to mitigate the demand of this one. So meaning the receipt wise, if we see, right, the receipt wise, if we see, let's bring the receipt as well, or let me copy this current sheet and go to the edit view and then see that receipt portion of it. So when I say it is receipt, then let me also bring the from side of it, right? So this is location from, location and then location from. So we have all got it. And if I now see from the transport perspective, and I'll just say okay to this. Yeah, so now you understand that, uh, because we have set this quota as 70% and 30% here, 50%, 50% here. So what it is doing is, in order to get the receipt, right, 70% of the receipt, so 70% of 1,000 is 700. In week 50, it has started the supply 1 week earlier, which is week 49. So what we can see, so let me name this as transport receipt, and let me name this as transport supply. So the supply has started 1 week early so that it generates the receipt that, but in order to mitigate that demand, right? If we say 2 weeks, then supply will start in week 48 itself, right? It will go 2 weeks back. So this is how, the impact of lead time will happen. So similarly, production also will have some kind of lead time. So if we just go to the production source, then there also we can maintain, the lead time with respect to production. So like
So
that,
how is
you
that
will.
working a technical week? And also, if you want to do it like a lead time is a 2 days, then we'll give a you have to switch to the days instead of week.
Yeah, so 1 week, will be equivalent to, for example, the A part of the week and the B part of the week,
Oh,
right?
technically both of them. Okay.
So the combination of that, for example, will be, the full week, and it will just take that into account, right? So this is how the lead times will work, guys. So this is what I wanted to cover now for today. So we'll see, more scenarios of the supply algorithms in our next class. So I need to now go to the another batch, guys. So if you have any quick questions, were you able to follow up, guys? That today's whatever we have discussed, um, anything that uh, you know you want to
So can this be
repeat or
integrated with
you want to
ECC?
understand.
Can this output be integrated with the ERP system?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because the dependent demand and all that which is coming, right? So we define a definition of, let's the PIRs and all that, which will send back to to our S4 or ECC system. So that those are the regular scenarios which the people are doing today. So it is like vice versa from ECC to IBP, and then when we are calculating it, because the real execution will happen still in your S4 or ECC system. So you will have to transfer these results back to your ECC system for the execution purpose.
Yeah, we will transfer as
Receipts
a
can
time
be sent.
series, right? It will go as a PIR, or how does it go? This I mean, only demand will go as a PIR.
Yeah, that dependent demand, if you have, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the PIR will be the sum of those dependent demands. So what we have seen is we have the dependent location demand, right? And then from the production perspective, we have the dependent production demand and production. So all this
Yeah,
will
yeah,
sum up
that's right. Yeah.
the dependent
Mm-hmm.
demand,
That's
and
right.
you will also come up with your stock on hand and all you want to put into that, consider that, and then come up with the plan independent requirement, right? And that PIR you may send it to your ECC system uh, to generate the planned orders, for example, because it might not happen that you are doing the or you have implemented the order based planning in your
Mm-hmm.
IBP, so still you are running your MRP and all that stuff in your S4 system, which is the expert of this all, right? Running the
No,
ERP,
no,
MRP,
no.
generating those, PRs and all.
HR demand output is PIR, which can be sent back to ECC now, or S4. Now supply output is your purchase recs and planned orders, right? Can this also be sent back to ECC
Yeah, yeah.
or S4? Okay.
No, purchase recs and orders, you will actually, when you have implemented, as I was mentioning, the OBP side of it, right? Order based planning. But here we are talking about the time series, right? So the transport
Mhm.
receipts, all that you are generating. So if you want, you can send it to ECC, the transport receipts and production receipt, for some purpose if you want to it. But normally, what happens is when you have the order based planning and you have your purchase orders, and you have converted them into the POs into your IBP itself, which is nothing but which is your uh, you know uh, So let me explain it. Let me take
No,
just
I
five
got you.
minutes and then
I got
explain
I got you.
that
But I
how
think
it goes. Yep.
that can be simulated in time series based planning as well, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah,
you mean the
I
purchase
mean, even
requisition?
if you can
Yes.
explain it as tomorrow, the starting class,
Yeah.
like overall how the order-based planning. No, we are not going to discuss the order-based planning. How this time series heuristics or time series optimized one going back to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ECC, and then where that number would apply. Would that apply to any purchase orders, or just on based on the
Yeah, yeah.
timings? Or,
So let's see from the starting from the demand itself, that end to end, how that cycle will work out, right? For example, from the demand planning global plan, when we have got it from the demand perspective, let's say that we are now applying the demand sensing to it. So that is going as an input to your where to your IO, right? And after that, your this part comes into consideration, which is the OBP part. So let's say that you have the order based planning area. So whatever your demand global demand plan you have, that goes as an input to your supply and allocation planning, which is a part of your order based planning. The resource and supply module, which will have your sales order confirmations as well, and which will also be responsible to execute the deployment planning. So from there, deployment planning, your stock transfer requisitions will come out, and from the R&S module, which is a part of OBP, your sales order confirmations will come out, and you will be able to do the sales order processing uh, in your execution system, which is your ECC system, right? So what I'll do is, I'll whatever I just spoke, maybe in the form of diagram, we'll just draw it in MS Paint, so that it is easy for us to understand the scheduling process, right? In terms of
yeah,
end to end. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, question goes back to the time series supply, and then the receipts can be send it back to ECC. Then if you send it back to ECC, how that will be used?
yeah,
That,
yeah, yeah. We can,
that you can explain tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, guys. So uh, let's then stop it for today, right? So we'll resume again in our next session. So thank you so much, and then bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.